The Whisper in the Rain. Ethan Carter was the kind of man people either envied or feared. The youngest real estate tycoon in California, he'd built an empire worth $200 million before turning 40. But behind his charm and polished smile was a man too used to betrayal. His estate was a fortress, high walls, cameras, and guards who spoke little English. He trusted no one, except his driver, his lawyer, and the staff who cleaned his floors in silence. Lily Chen had been working for Ethan for 3 months. She was quiet, diligent, and always kept her eyes down. No one knew much about her, except that she had moved from Beijing after her parents died in an accident. That evening, the mansion was unusually quiet. The gala invitation lay on Ethan's desk, a fundraiser for children's hospitals, one of the few causes he truly cared about. But Lily noticed something strange. As she passed through the kitchen, she saw 2 of Ethan's security guards, both Chinese, standing near the back door, speaking in hushed tones. She didn't mean to listen, until she caught the words. "He dies tonight." Her heart nearly stopped. She pressed herself against the wall, her pulse hammering in her ears. The guards were whispering about the car, about a detour, and how no one would ever trace it back. She backed away quietly, nearly knocking over a tray. When she looked up, one of the guards was staring at her. "Something wrong?" he asked coldly. Lily shook her head, whispering, "No, sir. Just cleaning." But her hands were trembling. She rushed to her small room, locked the door, and tried to calm herself. Should she warn Ethan? What if he didn't believe her? She was just a maid, and he was a man who trusted only power and logic. Yet something in her heart wouldn't let her stay silent. Minutes later, Ethan came down the grand staircase in a black tuxedo, phone in one hand, car keys in the other. His 2 guards followed, faces unreadable. As he approached the limousine, Lily burst from the doorway, shouting through the rain. "Sir! Don't get in that car. Please, don't." The guards tensed, their hands going to their belts. Ethan frowned, annoyed but curious. "Why not, Miss Chen?" he asked sharply. She swallowed hard. "I heard them, in Chinese. They said, you won't make it back alive." For a long moment, silence. The rain was the only sound. Then Ethan turned slowly toward the guards. "Is that true?" One of them smirked. She must have misunderstood. Ethan narrowed his eyes. Did she? Suddenly, the second guard lunged, pulling a gun from his coat. Ethan barely ducked as the bullet shattered the limousine window. Lily screamed. Ethan dove behind the car as chaos erupted. He tackled one guard to the ground, disarmed him, and fired a shot that sent the other running into the woods. When the police arrived minutes later, Ethan was still shaking. If Lily hadn't warned him, he would have been dead. The secret behind the loyalty. The police arrested one guard and recovered evidence, texts in Mandarin about a contract and a payment transfer from an unknown account. It was an assassination plot. But who had ordered it? The next morning, Ethan sat in his study, the events replaying in his mind. Lily stood nearby, nervous, her hands folded. "I don't know how to thank you," he said quietly. "You saved my life." She shook her head. "Anyone would have done the same." He smiled faintly. "No. Most wouldn't risk it." But there was something else in Lily's eyes, guilt. After a pause, she said softly, "Sir, there's something I need to tell you." Ethan leaned forward. "What is it?" Her voice cracked. "The men who tried to kill you, they weren't strangers. One of them was my cousin." Ethan froze. She continued, tears spilling down her cheeks. "When I came to America, I thought I was escaping my past. My cousin joined a group that worked for dangerous people. He found out where I worked. He said they wanted revenge on you, for a deal you closed in Shanghai years ago. He threatened me, said if I told anyone, he'd kill my brother back home. Her voice broke. I didn't know what to do. But when I heard them say you'd die tonight, I couldn't stay silent anymore. Ethan sat back, stunned. He remembered the Shanghai deal. It had ruined a corrupt billionaire who lost everything. Apparently, that man had friends who never forgave him. He looked at Lily, the woman who'd saved his life, even knowing she might lose her own family. "Where is your brother now?" he asked. She whispered, "Still in Beijing. I can't reach him." Ethan made a decision right then. "You will. I'll make sure of it." Over the next few weeks, Ethan used his contacts to track Lily's brother and bring him safely to the U.S. The police uncovered the full plot, a revenge contract ordered by one of Ethan's business enemies. When the trial ended, Ethan stood outside the courthouse beside Lily. The man behind the plot was sentenced to 20 years. Lily turned to Ethan, eyes glistening. "Thank you, for believing me." He smiled. "No, Lily. Thank you, for reminding me that not everyone can be bought." She laughed softly, tears in her eyes. "You don't owe me anything." But Ethan shook his head. "I owe you my life. And maybe, a chance to start over." He offered her a position, not as a maid, but as a personal assistant in his company. Within months, Lily became one of his most trusted team members. A year later, at another charity gala, Ethan and Lily stood together as cameras flashed. But this time, there was no fear, only peace. Ethan raised a toast. "To the people who remind us that kindness can save lives, even when we least expect it." As the crowd applauded, Lily smiled quietly. She looked toward the door, the same kind of limousine waiting outside, and whispered to herself, "I still hear their voices, but now, they don't scare me anymore." The screen fades to black with the words, "Kindness is the strongest form of courage." If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Kindness Chronicles, where every story reminds us that even one act of courage can change a life forever.